The lighthouse keeper's peaceful night. The sun had quietly slipped beneath the horizon, leaving behind a sky painted with soft shades of lavender and deep blue. Along the edge of a quiet coastline stood an old white lighthouse, its warm golden light slowly beginning its nightly journey across the calm sea. Inside lived Elias, the gentle lighthouse keeper. Every evening followed the same peaceful rhythm. He lit the great lantern, checked the windows, polished the brass railings, and listened to the soothing sound of waves rolling onto the shore. There was never any rush. The lighthouse had watched over sailors for generations, and tonight was no different. Outside, a cool ocean breeze carried the scent of salt and wildflowers growing along the cliffs. Seagulls had already settled into their nests, and the world seemed to whisper that it was time to rest. Elias wrapped himself in a warm wool blanket and climbed the winding staircase to the lantern room. From the top, the ocean stretched endlessly beneath a sky filled with thousands of quiet stars. The beam of light turned slowly, sweeping across the water with calm and steady grace. Far below, a small fishing boat glided peacefully toward the harbor. The captain looked up, smiled at the familiar light, and continued home, knowing the lighthouse was watching over every traveler of the night. Elias poured a cup of warm chamomile tea and settled into his favorite wooden chair beside the wide glass windows. The gentle ticking of an old clock blended with the rhythmic sound of the waves. As the hours drifted by, clouds floated lazily across the moon, and the sea shimmered like silver silk. The lighthouse remained calm, patient, and unwavering, just as it had for countless peaceful nights before. There was nothing to worry about, nothing to hurry toward. Only the comforting sound of the ocean, the soft glow of the lantern, and the quiet promise that morning would arrive in its own perfect time. And with every slow breath, the peaceful lighthouse stood watch over the sleeping sea, inviting every tired soul to relax, let go, and gently drift into a deep, restful sleep. The night grew even quieter. The stars above seemed to shine a little brighter, reflecting softly upon the gentle waves below. Every ripple carried a silver glow, as though the sea itself had borrowed light from the moon. Elias stood beside the great lantern, watching its warm beams sweep slowly across the endless horizon. Round and round it turned, never hurried, never late. It had only one simple purpose: to guide, to comfort, and to quietly remain. He smiled. There was something peaceful about doing the same gentle work every evening. It reminded him that not every day needed to be exciting. Sometimes the greatest gift was calmness. A soft breeze drifted through the slightly open window, carrying the fresh scent of the ocean and distant pine trees. Somewhere below, tiny waves kissed the rocks with a quiet rhythm. Splash, pause, splash, pause. It was a melody the lighthouse had listened to for many lifetimes. After a while, Elias picked up a small leather journal from a wooden shelf. Each night he wrote just one grateful thought before midnight. Tonight he wrote, "The sea is calm, the stars are kind, the world is resting peacefully." He gently closed the journal and placed it back on the shelf. In the distance, a family of dolphins rose gracefully from the water before disappearing beneath the quiet surface once again. Their movements were slow and effortless, leaving only gentle circles that slowly faded into the moonlit sea. The lighthouse continued its patient dance. Its warm light stretched across the water, then returned, again and again, as steady as a peaceful heartbeat. Inside, the old clock softly marked the passing minutes. Tick, tick, tick. There was nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. Only the comforting glow of the lantern, the whisper of the wind, and the endless song of the sleeping ocean. And as the peaceful night carried on, it felt as though every wave was gently inviting the whole world to breathe more slowly, relax a little deeper, and drift peacefully toward beautiful dreams. The hours floated by as gently as clouds across the moonlit sky. Far beyond the lighthouse, the ocean rested in complete harmony. The water rose and fell with slow, graceful breaths, as though the sea itself had settled into a peaceful sleep. Elias opened the small wooden door that led to the circular balcony. The cool night air wrapped around him like a soft blanket. Above, Countless stars shimmered in silence. Below, the waves whispered against the rocks in a rhythm older than memory. He leaned lightly against the smooth railing and closed his eyes for a moment. The breeze carried tiny sounds from the shoreline, the rustle of tall grasses, the gentle sway of wildflowers, and the distant call of a night bird preparing to rest. Nothing felt hurried. Nothing asked for attention. The entire coastline seemed to breathe together, slowly and peacefully. Just below the cliffs, a family of sea otters floated on the calm water, wrapped gently in strands of seaweed so they would not drift apart while they slept. Every now and then, one of them stretched softly before settling back into the quiet embrace of the ocean. Elias smiled. He always enjoyed seeing the little visitors who trusted the peaceful night. Returning inside, he lit a single beeswax candle beside his favorite chair. Its warm, golden glow danced gently across the wooden walls, filling the room with a quiet feeling of comfort.